Hi, Joe.
Hi.
Quick round of questions. How are the global ESG policies changing with the current climate?
Um, I think that the current global policies are changing based on US policy. As the saying goes, when the US sneezes, the rest of the world catches a cold. And so there are a number of factors that the US has rolled back on or reversed that will have an impact on ESG policies. So there are three key things we need to keep in mind for the environmental limb. The first is that the US has been withdrawn from the Paris Agreement again. And what this means is that US companies won't be subject to environmental regulations and therefore won't need to concentrate their efforts on carbon emissions or global climate policy. Secondly, is Trump's drill baby drill statement during his inauguration, which means that there will be a large focus on fossil fuel support. And third is the big one, is deregulation. And what this means is that we'll see a huge rollback in environmental laws and policies in the US that might have a knock-on effect on the environmental laws and policies globally. On the social limb, of course, the big deal has been the rollback or the reversal of many DEI initiatives at the federal level. And this has put pressure on companies themselves to then roll back on their own diversity programs. And lastly, on the governance limb, the huge push for deregulation will mean that there will be a reversal or a rollback on many of the corporate governance policies that have been put in place over the past few years. And so, just briefly, when we think about these shifts, it causes a change in headwinds for many companies, which means that many companies that choose to prioritize sustainability or diversity might find themselves at a competitive disadvantage if they don't align themselves with these market trends.
How do these changes affect sustainability investments in Africa?
I think it's a bit too early to tell, seeing as we've only seen these global shifts take place over the past 3 months. But many commentators have indicated or intimated that they are quite positive on the outlook for Africa as far as sustainable investments go. The African Development Bank has said that there seems to be quite a lot of resilience in investments in Africa in the sustainability space. So these are investments focused on renewable energy, on fintech, as well as sustainable finance. And so I think the outlook so far can be said to be positive because it definitely is a bit too early to tell.
How can African businesses and policymakers maintain momentum despite ESG uncertainty?
I think because the sector has really shown quite a bit of resilience so far, they can just opt to stay the course. And what this means is they can focus on homegrown solutions, um, focus on regional priorities, strengthen local frameworks, as well as leverage alternative funding sources.